I teach kindergarten, and my independent literacy work time, we do centers, and I chose that over the must-do, may-do because I tried that last year and the students just weren't independent enough to handle what they had to do, and the timing was a problem. So during our centers, we do 2 centers. We do one for about 15-20 minutes, and then we have a break in the middle with an activity or a book, a story, whole group. Then they do center 2 on days we have enough. Some days we only do 1 center. In the centers, I have 3 buckets that are differentiated for math, like a level 1, 2, 3. I have 3 buckets that are differentiated for language, a bucket 1, 2, 3. And then they have their own colored bucket. So blue are my kids working on sounds, yellow would be letters, green is CVC words. And so they know what color bucket they can choose from, and they have 4 buckets to choose from within their color. And then I also have ABC Mouse on Chromebooks. Okay, I hold my students accountable by watching them. I don't put any paper pencil things in my centers. It's all hands-on. While I'm working with groups at tables, I can easily see what everybody else is doing. Also, if they're matching anything, I have them match it and leave it, and when the center's over, I can go see exactly what they've done. So I do a real quick spot check at the end of centers to see what's been accomplished during that time.
I teach kindergarten, and I choose to do stations during my independent literacy work time because I found stations to be easier to differentiate for my kids' different levels of learning, and they seem to really enjoy the station time, and it just has worked best for me. So the types of independent work my students do are, I have them doing iReady reading. I have them having their book baskets, and inside their book baskets they get to choose 2 books that are their interest, and then I put in like leveled readers for them according to their reading level, and then when they have like retired sight words, I put in all of their sight words that they already know so they can continue to practice those sight words. I also have a writing station where they have like 5 different options that they can do at the writing station. I have classroom library, and then I have a sight word station that they are working on their sight words, and then an ABC station for my kids who are still working on their letters. And then I also had like a phonics station, so they like mine are doing like rhyming words right now, but when they get towards the end of like more towards the middle end of the year, I'm gonna have like a word workstation. I hold my students accountable during their stations by like book bins. I have my students finding their characters with sticky notes, and so like they're going through their books and they're drawing their characters, and then they're sticking it on the page so I can go back and check to see if my kids are actually drawing their characters and writing or drawing them and putting them on their pages. I also, in my book bins, I give my book leveled readers, but they're like papered level readers, so I'm having my kids right now use highlighters and going through and finding their sight words inside those books. My writing station, it's all paper pencil, so they can turn that in so I can see their work that they've done. My sight words, most of it's hands-on activities, so I can just walk around and check to make sure they are doing it. And then my ABC station, it's all hands-on, so I kind of just look to see if they are actually working on it. And then classroom library, sometimes I will add up like a anchor chart, and they can find their characters inside their books when they're at classroom library and stick their post-its up on the chart. A lot of times after I do stations too, I will pull some sticks out, and that child has to tell me what they did during their reading stations. Good. Look at you being such great readers already.
I teach 2nd grade, and we do a literacy choice board where the students have a choice, and I feel like they take ownership more in it because they have to decide what they want to do each day and for how long. They have to complete all of their work by Friday, and they turn their stuff into a red basket when they're done, and then they have to cross their name off of the choice board. So the choices that they have are Lexia, and they each have different Lexia minutes. They have to do iReady reading for 45 minutes by Friday. They have a writing prompt each week. They have to do poetry with a partner, and they have a skill for the week to focus on. And they have fluency with a partner, and each passage is differentiated. They have I Can Work and I Can Games, and then they also have teacher time. At the end of their literacy choice board, for 15 minutes, they all have quiet time and they're reading to self around the room, because that's not one of our choices. It's a must-do every single day. So the accountability part is by turning in their work, they know that everything gets graded. For the I Can games, they have to take a picture of it, post it on Seesaw, and tell me what the game was. And that goes directly to me to check, and their parents as well. And then for Lexia and iReady, I check their minutes at the end of each week. Their writing is a grade, and their fluency, they are graphing with their partner, so they're accountable for their graphs. Okay, so this is the tubs that my groups are in for Literacy Choice Board, and it's based off of my reading groups. So there's 4 tubs, and so this is like my highest group, and this would be my lowest group. And they know that they can only pick from their tub, and everything is differentiated for them based on what they can do. So in their tubs is everything that they'll need for Literacy Choice Board. So their I Can Work for the week is in there with their name on it. That way I know who has or hasn't completed it. And then there's usually 2 to 4 I Can games that they need to complete, and that's what they were posting on Seesaw. So then I know if they've done one of the games or not. And then their fluency passages are also in their tub, and there's 4 because I can only have 2 groups doing them at the same time. And then their poems are also in there for the week. So my 2 high groups have the same poem and skill, and my 2 low groups will have the same poem. But that way each thing is easily accessible for them to get, and they know where to put everything.
So I teach first grade, and our independent literacy work time, I use Centers, and it's kind of a modified daily 5. We do a writing center, an independent reading center. We do a center, and in my class at this time we're still working on letters and sounds, and then we do a word work center as well. And while the kids are working, then I am able to pull reading groups. And to keep the kids on track, I have a timer up so they know what's going on and how long they have left to work in their center. And it lets them know when they're done and when the timer goes off. I prefer doing this. I think that it keeps the kids honest. They know exactly what's expected of them in each center, and they know that they're supposed to be working together and what they're supposed to be getting done. I check in once a week, especially in writing center where they're actually producing, stuff on paper to see how things are going and what exactly they're doing and seeing what they've gotten done. We've been doing a lot of Write the Room just to work on learning that words, actually are tied to things. And so how I hold them accountable for that is obviously they know that I'm going to be checking their work, looking to see if they're getting it done and what it looks like, if it's their best work, and if they need to, then they can go back and fix it at a later time.